Please, please, please do not let this person walk.
A notorious baby killer known as the Angel of Death may soon be a free woman. 64-year-old Genene Jones has long been suspected of killing dozens of children at a San Antonio hospital. And as Robert Price explains, the mothers of some of those babies are now urging Bexar County's new district attorney to do whatever he can to keep her behind bars.
Nicknamed the Killer Nurse, Genene Jones is suspected of murdering nearly 50 babies.
Genene Jones is probably one of the worst types of serial killers because keep in mind who her victims were. Defenseless, voiceless babies.
From 1981 to 1982, Jones worked in the pediatric ICU of what's now University Hospital.
I was so angry that it went on for so long, that so many children had to die.
Her weapon of choice, according to prosecutors, a syringe filled with a lethal dose of drugs.
She injected him, and 30 seconds later, heart attack.
By 82, she'd moved on to Kerrville. Petty McClellan will never forget watching Jones inject her 15-month-old daughter, Chelsea.
As soon as she got that first shot, of course, Chelsea immediately started reacting to it. And I asked her right off the bat, what did you do? What did you do? What's something's wrong with her?
In 1984, a jury convicted Jones of killing little Chelsea and injuring another child. She was sentenced to 99 years in prison.
Apparently has no remorse or even any acknowledgement of wrongdoing.
31 years later, a supposedly ailing Jones is now locked up at the Carroll Young Medical Facility in Galveston County. However, because of a mandatory release law in place at the time of her conviction, she'll be a free woman by 2018.
One of the nation's most cold-blooded, diabolical serial killers in our country's history is scheduled to be legally released.
Am I prepared if she walks? No, because she's gonna hurt another child.
Why wouldn't she do it again? What would stop her from doing it again?
I don't want to hear that she's sick, she's old, she's 2 years older than I am.
And so these parents turn their attention to one man, Bexar County District Attorney Nico LaHood.
Please, please, please do not let this person walk.
For killing 46 children.
LaHood's predecessor, Susan Reed, attended parole hearings for Jones, met with family members of victims. With a new DA in office now, we wanted to know where he stands.
Her mandatory release is nothing that I can do about that. What I can potentially do, or any prosecutor can do, is look for new evidence that can be substantiated and held up in court to convict her of a separate charge.
LaHood says when he took office in January, he assigned the case to his Special Crimes Unit, as well as their Major Crimes Chief. But he admits a case this old has its challenges.
And over time, a case doesn't get stronger typically unless new information comes out, it gets weaker.
We're talking about a serial killer. You can't just say, well, the odds are too far, you're never going to find something, it's been too long. You have to try.
Try LaHood will. He encourages any parents who think their child fell victim to Jones to call his office.
The politics doesn't motivate me, the attention, the media doesn't motivate me. The fact that if this woman is responsible for taking someone's treasure, meaning their child, away from them, I want to do everything within the law and ethics to hold her accountable and to keep her behind bars.
You know, as hard as I've had to live with knowing what happened to Chelsea, but all those kiddos, all those babies, and all those families in San Antonio, they've had to live never knowing. So now it's time for their justice.
Robert Price, Fox News at 9.